Inflammatory Bowel Disease Day is on May 19th. So I'm going to close off the panel today, and I'm going to ask our members, what are they doing to celebrate May 19th, Inflammatory Bowel Disease Day?
So I am actually doing a Facebook fundraiser on the 19th that is going to be used to purchase some shadow buddies and some stoma bears for the program that I'm trying to get started at the Seattle Children's Hospital. So I'm going to be doing some outreach and trying to, get some bears for giving.
Perfect. Can you just share a little bit more about the volunteer work you do with the Seattle?
Sure. So the Seattle Children's Hospital is actually the Patent's national local charity, and so we try and go out there regularly and volunteer. I go usually about twice a month, and as I was volunteering, I noticed on one of my support groups online that I see a lot of pediatric patients, their parents coming on going, I don't know how to do this, I am terrified, all of a sudden I'm a nurse. And so it was kind of my idea to say, we need to get not just an ostomy support group, but get some education and some resources to these families that all of a sudden have a brand new bundle of joy with an ostomy. I'm sure that's completely terrifying, especially as a new parent to this beautiful baby, and it's usually one of many complications that are happening with that child. And so I think giving parents the confidence to treat their child and know that they're not hurting their child, and just all of those little things makes them feel more comfortable as a parent and as an ostomy parent. So
wonderful. Great work you're doing. Thank you. And how about yourself? What are you going to do May 19th?
Well, we can't really say yet. It may or may not be top secret. So we have done a lot of fun things in the past, though. We do fundraisers for the UOAA, for Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. We've done an improv show.
Yeah, and we usually do something public, and we're still figuring that out. We'll go to the zoo in Columbus, and we wear our shirts, and we bring our family and friends together, so we make a big presence, wearing our IBD warrior shirts and getting people talking. And of course, everyone around us hears us talking about poop, and it's not the monkeys in the cages.
Right.
So we get out and do something very public. We just haven't landed on it yet.
We have.
I think we should come to Seattle.
We should.
Well, I love the mystery behind it, and I can guarantee you probably most people in this room are going to be going to Double Baggin.
Yes, please
find
do.
out exactly what you do on May 19th.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And how about yourself, Krista? What are you going to do?
I don't have huge plans, but the Crohn's and Colitis Walk in Canada is held the first weekend of June, so I am fundraising for that. But really, I'll just be celebrating by probably going for a hike, because my ostomy gave me life.
Because you can.
Yeah, because I can.
Doing stuff you can do
Yeah.
because you can.
I absolutely love that when you had shared that earlier with me as well. I'm going to go for a hike. She lives in Calgary, Alberta, right beside the Rocky Mountains. What a great place to go hiking. But it's just because she can. And she doesn't need a bathroom. And she can live life. I absolutely thought that was a perfect way to celebrate the day. So that kind of closes our panel today, except for the opportunity for you as the audience to ask any questions of our panel members.
So I work upstairs in Secure Start, so I'm talking to consumers all day long. Leaking is a huge issue that ostomates face. How have you guys experienced any leakage? And if you have, how's life when you're continually leaking, and how is life when you're not?
So I'm rather fortunate. I've had my ostomy, it'll be 12 years next week, so I'm celebrating my stomaversary, which is also his birthday, which is so, irony. But I've had just a handful of leaks. I was able to speak to my WOCN, figure out what I was doing wrong. That was all kind of mostly in the beginning. But I did have one last year. I'm very, because I don't have many issues, I'm not one to be very prepared. So I was having some me time at the zoo, which is really funny. The monkeys, looking at them doing poop flinging, and I felt a little something, and I was like, this is not good. So I ran to the bathroom. It was like Frogger trying to dodge the strollers. One kid almost ran directly into me, and I had paper towels shoved in it because I had to drive home for another 20 minutes.
Right.
So I learned the lesson of be prepared. But I think just facing it with humor is kind of something that's really important, just to laugh it off, but also to seek the help of your doctor, or if you have a WOCN, if not, going online and, asking questions to you guys and getting some answers. So sometimes it's a very simple, add a little extra product here, do something there, or cut something a little bit bigger. So I think it's just keeping in contact until you get it right. And when you can't, and you're at the zoo and you're dodging children who are literally at the height of what has gone down, you just have to laugh when you get in the car. And bring extra supplies. The moral of the story is here, always bring extra supplies.
Great advice. Does anyone else have anything to add?
Just with the difference between when you're dealing with leaks and when you're not dealing with leaks, when you're, I can speak for myself, and I think it's probably pretty common early on, you deal with leaks more frequently as you're healing and stuff because your stoma is changing sizes and you're trying to land on the right appliance. But when you have those leaks going on, you're trying to get back out and resume your life, it's very scary. It's very scary because you're still dealing with that embarrassment. You're in the middle of the grocery store and suddenly you have poop all down your leg, and even if you are prepared and you have to go change it, it's very anxiety provoking. And then conversely, once you have a great system and you've healed and you're not dealing with leaks anymore, you can get overly confident and stop carrying your supplies with you. And
Not recommended.
but it's a complete flip from one to the other in how you feel.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say too, is like the confidence level. And I mean, I'm sure it's similar for guys, but especially as a woman, if you're having leaks, and I would just rather not go out. And that's kind of where I was in the beginning, where I wasn't sure and I wasn't confident. So I just didn't do it because, I could poo on myself. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I used to poop my pants all the time. Like, it's no big deal, right? And so for me, like with new ostomates, I always encourage them, like finding the best supplies for your body type, for your output, and for your stoma size is key. Because then once you get confident and you have the right appliance, there's days where I'm like, oh, I almost forgot that I had it. You know what I mean? Where I'll do something and I'll be like, oh yeah, I have a bump there. Like, I don't want to knock that off, So I think it's kind of like one end to the other, where it's either completely anxiety laden and isolating, or you're on top of the world feeling absolutely normal. So I think it's key getting the right things for you as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning curve, but it's certainly very, very doable.
Krista, do you have anything to add?
I didn't really experience a lot of leakage, mainly at the beginning of my surgery. When things were healing, I had to, go see my ostomy nurses, which they were amazing. We just had to change a few things. However, I did, in the beginning, experience leakages at night when I was sleeping, because I would wake up scratching because it's so itchy. And that was really the cause of my leak. So then after, I just found some, high-waisted shorts or something to keep everything in, so I wasn't scratching it at night in my sleep.
Well, wonderful advice. And I loved what you said, so that I almost forgot I had the ostomy. Almost. But that sounds like what we're striving for. Yes,
certainly.
Wonderful. Any other questions?
Thank you for coming and talking to us today. It's very inspirational. When we talk to new ostomates, some of their stress is, when I go back to work, what will I experience? How did you folks manage going back to work with your ostomy?
Everybody knew about all of my issues prior to, so I was very open about my IBD. And so they knew about my surgery, because I was like the one weird patient that high-fived all the way down the operating room because I was that excited about getting my surgery. So I was very, very excited and confident about letting everybody know about what was going on with me. But I found, obviously, bringing supplies, bringing extra clothes just in case, or at least having them in your car. And then I kind of secured a space underneath our sink, because we had like a little office where I can keep my supplies, so I didn't have to bring everything every day and then worry about if I forgot to bring something. So definitely just the whole be prepared kind of thing. Also, because everybody knew, including clients that would come in if we had to go out to a lunch like early on, when things would fill up faster, because I have an ileostomy, and so sometimes your small bowel has to adapt to what your larger bowel did. So there's kind of a 6-month period, at least for myself. And I just kind of let everybody, people who I knew closer, who I talked to more, other times I just said, I've had a surgery, I will need to get up. I'm not being rude, just being open. I think the quicker that people are open about what they don't have to go spread the word and, but just being able to say things out loud and just control, take the control that you do have, because having IBD, I had no control before, and now it's I have all the control. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to, like Oprah, you get to know about my ostomy, and you get to know about my ostomy. But no, just I think breaking that one barrier of talking about it, and then the next time you're like, hey, I gotta, give me a second, I have this. So I think just being very open about it and being prepared are two big things.
I totally agree with that. Just owning it. And you may not everyone's going to feel comfortable going into their work environment or even with their family and being like, hey, guess what I have? But, letting other people know that you do have a condition going on or something. For me, I just tell everyone I know, I was really ready at the airport. It was my first time going through the airport, so I was super nervous. And I was like, it's okay. I'm just if there's any sort of problems, I'm just gonna use that as an opportunity to educate.
Right.
So for me, that's what I had to do, is approach it from that education standpoint and make it less about me and more about other people. They don't know, they need to know, so I'm gonna share. And that gave me more confidence in being able to step into or out of any situation that I need to freely and have everyone understand and not make it a big deal. Because if any normal person goes to the bathroom, it's not a big deal, right? So if we have to go to the bathroom just because we do it a little differently, there shouldn't, it kind of all goes back to that stigma of the shame, where you wanna keep it hidden and you don't want anyone to know. And for me, I just own it, because that lets me free. The bathroom had me trapped for, most of my life. I'm not gonna let the stigma of the bathroom keep me there. And so, but for people who aren't comfortable sharing that, I think at least giving people a little bit of insight and just saying, hey, I have a tummy issue. If that's what you wanna call it, cool. And then people will go, oh, okay, because everyone's had some sort of tummy issue. And they just assume oh, you have heartburn, or let them. But then it gives you that out, so that if there is a situation, you can say, hey, I'm having some big tummy issues today, and I've got to go. And so it just kind of being open, however you're comfortable, whatever level you're comfortable doing.
I really be comfortable saying, excuse me, or I'm going to poop my shirt.
Right?
There's that too. That is also an effective, that's a very effective.
I actually posted on Facebook, while I don't poop my pants anymore, I learned today I can still shit my shirt with the best. Excuse my language. But, so it's you gotta roll with it. And it's hard, but you just do it to make it the best.
I really as we all sit up here and you see confident people who are out there sharing their story, bringing awareness. I absolutely love that you shared today. You went on the airplane for the very first time and you were scared and you were nervous and you were figuring out, how am I going to manage this? Because I'm sure every one of us every day has to deal with something. And there you are. You've been out there. We thought you'd have more confidence than everyone, but you're just like everyone else.
Oh, I was
dealing with it every day. Yeah. And I just love how you shared that story, because everyone is going to deal with something every day and have to deal with it. And like you said, be prepared.
Right.
Like you guys have said, have a little bit of humor as well. Yeah. So any other questions? No? Well, I would like to first of all thank all of you for taking time out of your day to be with us, to listen to the story, and to really help unite all of us together to share the message about inflammatory bowel disease and as well as about living with ostomies. But more importantly, I would like to thank the 4 panel members that are with us today. They have taken time away from their families, their friends, their work to share their story with us, to remind us here at Hollister how important it is to do what we do to help bring dignified life, how to bring quality of life to people living with ostomies who have faced inflammatory bowel disease. So would you please thank our panel today and give them a warm welcome.